Depending on really what it means to be easy to be a youth in Uganda, but I want to believe that it's more or less homogeneous from one African country to another. But specifically with Uganda, it's a little bit challenging by the fact that, youth itself is an age of growth as they're building up and they're growing up, and it surfaces with a lot of challenges. It can be social, it can be political, even sometimes religious, because sometimes they do not understand this faith in which they have entered into. So really it depends on what is the situation in which they have found themselves. So basically for Uganda, I think it's a little bit challenging by the fact of what I have mentioned. One of the things is the situation of how life reveals itself for the young people now in Uganda is a little bit difficult. First of all, it's very difficult. After finishing your studies, employment, you look for it, actually the jobs are not there. And that's why, like for the Catholic Church, we are encouraging many of the young people to be job creators than being job seekers. Because you might be looking for a job, white collar job, you'll not get. But within the Catholic Church, we are grooming them to be job seekers. Job creators than job seekers, meaning that they need to be very creative in the different activities they engage themselves in. That can be, in the field of agriculture or in some income generating activities that they can do. One, as an individual can decide on any project to do, or they can do it as a youth group where they all come together and put their heads and try to look at what is more comfortable and profitable within their own local environment that they can do. I want to give you a very simple example of some of the projects that they do. They go making what we call tree planting. They try to get some kind of seedlings. They grow these seedlings, specifically like in Nebi Catholic Diocese. The young people, together with their diocesan chaplain and the chaplaincy team, they grow seedlings. And these seedlings, one good thing I have liked is this, that in a parish like Nyapea, Jambuokuru, they have decided that every Catholic who is coming for baptism, the usual baptism in church, is told to buy this seedling, because they connect it. Baptism is life, and when you get these seedlings, you go and grow. When they grow, it's also life. So, they try to, I think they would like to patch the aspect of the document Laudato Si, to try to see how they can be friendly to the environment, promote the environment, but at the same time to create some kind of employment for the young people, that once they get into growing these seedlings, they will generate some income as an individual and as for the group. And then they have started agriculture. This agriculture, they do it in groups. They organize themselves as youth groups. They identify, especially in their particular area, which crop does well and which crop can sell to generate income. So what they do is they agree on a particular crop, they identify, they get land from the church. Thank God here in Uganda, all our Catholic parishes, our Catholic institutions, they have a lot of land. So these young people go to the parishes, they seek for permission from the parish to use parish land to generate this kind of income, or activities really on. So these are some of the things. So really being in Uganda as a youth is a little bit challenging. Politically, it's also challenging, because the politicians here in Uganda keep telling the young people, you are the leaders of tomorrow, not now. But the young people are saying, we are the leaders of now and here. So, they are a little bit manipulated, but they are the voters at the same time, and sometimes they are manipulated for the good of the politician. So this is the challenge really. I find the young people finding it a little bit tricky, also as they would like to enter into politics. And then another challenging aspect is that people now have some kind of quotations and some kind of linkages. They identify the young people mostly with the wrong things. They are thieves, they are thugs, they are lazy, they are this, they are uncultured. But the truth is this, the environment in which this child grows is what really makes this child. Many of our families have not given a good home for their children. Parents are too busy, very busy, and they end up sometimes even giving their children to the parish or to the schools. Now, you can imagine if in a family, the parents leave home at 6 a.m. in the morning. You come back probably at 8. What time do you have to be with your children? To groom them into what you really want them to be? It's a challenge. So you find that they have maids. Maids now are the ones who keep helping families to groom. So you don't know what the maid will be doing, the house helper will be doing with your child. Meaning that your child will start dancing to the tune and getting more of the characters and traits of the maid than what actually you like to integrate and inculcate in your own child as a mother and as a father. And that is also another challenge to be youth in Uganda. So you find that from childhood, somebody grows up in a different hand. Parents have little time spent with them. And at a youthful age, somebody is beginning to be a little bit independent, wanting to live on his own or on her own. But you'll find that because the background was not so strong enough, both in the faith and the social life, this young child coming to the youthful age will be challenged. Why? Because the roots are not so firm to stand on his or her feet to understand that this is the situation in which I need to live. One, as a Catholic. Two, as a God-fearing Christian citizen. So that's also another challenge where it's a little bit difficult for somebody to be, a youth living in Uganda. And then lastly, the kind of opportunities that come within our different regions. We are not blessed the same. In Uganda, the regions are not blessed the same. Some are blessed with more, resources and something like that. So those kind of disparities also affect the life of our young people in Uganda. Meaning that if you are in a blessed kind of region where maybe the social amenities are available, and each time you have grown up, you have finished your studies, job opportunities are available, you'll find that a youth in such an environment is more comfortable living a life than a youth who is outside such an environment. I want to give an example of Karamoja as one of the regions. It's one of our semi-arid area, and we have realized, especially within the youth apostolate, they do not have better opportunities like the rest of our young people, other parts of the country. And because of this, you find that their cultural background, which is so rich, sometimes also negatively affects them in their own social life as they live. But they are beginning to come up. So you can imagine a young person here in the center in Kampala will be better off really in life and a better youth than somebody who is in such challenging situations. So those are some of the disparities, being blessed differently in the regions. So those are some of the things really where I can say it is difficult for you to know or to believe that you're a Ugandan youth living here, and which is a little bit challenging.